But today's Chaburah will hopefully be brief. I mean, it's almost Purim, but I was asked to sort of fill in. There was a gap week, and I would like to sort of do some what we call maybe some mopping up or some filling in some of the blanks which we had in previous Chaburahs. Behind the door. So I thought. Locked out. I saw a black hat. I said, who's a black hat? Yeah, they call you a black hat, don't they? That would be the worst name you ever get called. Is that the checkbook that you have? I'd like to see it. Thank you. Oh, it's the first or second? This was the credit cards, right? So as I introduced a moment ago before Rabbi Black Shlita walked in, tell you a brief Chaburah. It was a blank day, and it's almost Purim, just to finish up 3 separate things which were discussed in the past. We'll just go in order. And the first one was my first Chaburah that I said about the Sparkasse and the whole question of the bank, which is owned by the majority of Jews and the majority of Goyim, minority of Jews. What is halachic status? And part of our discussion was the issue of Breira. You may remember this long discussion. And I hypothesized that some of the Gedolim who spoke about it were referring to a primitive banking system where people would take coins or bills and put them in. And then who gets what? Follow? A Yid puts in a coin, but that's lent out to a Goy. A Goy puts on a coin, it's lent out to a Yid. Then we can talk about the possibility of Breira. So I have an economist in my shul. The people from the shul know him. His name is Leon Metzger. You may know him as well. Very fine. Whenever I have any question, I always ask him what to do. Help me out. So I'm going to read you what he sent me. 2 excerpts. One comes from Chatbot. That's AI. Is it? AI. In the 1850s, depositors at Sparkassen, saving banks, primarily deposited coins rather than banknotes. The concept of Sparkassen was designed to encourage savings among the general population. It was common for people to deposit their savings in the form of coins. Banknotes at that time were often associated with larger transactions and could be more easily subject to fluctuations in value, making coins a more stable and trusted form of deposit. That being said, the Sparkassen system, which originated in Germany, began to expand in the 19th century, and some branches may have also accepted paper money. Paper money, dollar bills, mark bills, whatever it was called then. Particularly as banking systems evolved and banknotes became more widely accepted. The word banknote, I think, means a dollar bill. However, coins were still the predominant form of deposit for everyday savings during the 1850s. So that's from Chatbot. Then he has something called MS Copilot. I'm not sure what that means. Same thing. In the 1850s, depositors at Sparkassen primarily deposited coins, as coins were the dominant form of currency in circulation at that time. Banknotes were also used, but were less common and often issued by private banks as original authorities. Use of banknotes became more widespread later in the 19th century as banking systems and centralized currency issuance evolved. So my hypothesis turned out to be right, and that's why I thought that all those coolers based on Breira were only talking about this kind of a reality. It doesn't apply in today's system. I mean, you may have other coolers. Those other coolers may stand or may fail. No, that's the same thing. As opposed to No. The guy went to the bank with something in his hand, whether it be a coin, whether it be a bill, and he put it down. What?
Don't people carry their money to the bank or if it's still
Rabbi say, when's the last time you carried money into a bank?
Money longer.
Only money. No one does. It's all why. It's all.
Actually, I did before. Well, I did, but not. I report every penny, but I have a jury nurse to Sorrel, and they said they said the board will transfer electronically. So they gave me cash, and we went to the bank.
It's such a rarity. Almost all thing now is just
knows about it.
Okay, whatever it is. Okay, Adka. That's comment number one. Okay, that was from the first Chaburah left over. For the second Chaburah left over, I never got a chance to finish what I wanted to say. Yeah, I'm sorry.
If it's digital money, then maybe saying it's because now everybody's a shutaf. I mean,
yeah, I understood Brereman because there's actually coins going in, coins going out. We have no idea who's to what. Someone called it a tliya. Maybe the Jews coins came to a goy, coin came to a Jew. Right, that's what I thought. Now the second Chaburah I said about limited liability. So I told you, explained to you why I thought it's a very serious halachic question, and it may even be a doraisa. And the question being, how can it be a doraisa when the Gemara says beferish over here, and getting that flamet amar aleph? This is as follows. What's this? What's the context? Hamal v'mo es hakon v'salevi v'sani. Okay, what's the din? The Gemara has as follows. Posek imon kishar hazol. As the Gemara says, Posek imon v'ton rabbanon. Posek imon kishar hazol. It's the last narrow line. Get that flamet aleph. Ema mishum ribis. Fact the Gemara pshita. Hokamash malon. Afal pisha lo posek misha posek dami. Okay. Ema mishum ribis. My timer. Why isn't there no ribis? Why isn't there no ribis? Right? Rashi. Bishar poskin be'inon. Achi yetzi ashar. V'kan posik bishar salvo. Bekach bekach. Afal pisha lo yotza hashar. Why is there no issue of ribis over here? Answers the Gemara. Kevan dechiles le. Lo yoyev le. Ki yisle nami. Ein ba mishum ribis adkan. It's that one line. That's the basis of all those who want to be matir limited liability. Because if the guy goes broke, he won't get any money. So therefore, there's no issue of ribis. That's what the poskim say. This is a marashag is based upon this, and all those who follow in that path are all based on this. Now, there's a Tosfos. Tosfos says, not so fast, not so simple. Can the first afal gav lo pasuk kamisha pasuk dami. Ve'ein bo mishum ribis. You know why? I feel the posek harbe pachos mishar hazol. Right? Okay. The problem, of course, becomes. Listen carefully. I have a similar case in our parak is pardesa. No, there's even though to you is usher. Hacha hitir mishum takonas koyin. Which comes out exactly the opposite. This Gemara proves that there is an Isser, albeit an Isser d'Rabbanan, but an Isser there is. So that's why the classical Sfarim are going to say there is an Isser d'Rabbanan, Isser d'Oraisa, or Mutter. According to the Ratosis, it's Asr d'Rabbanan, so therefore this Heta will not work. But Rashi never said Takanas Kohen. They want to say, according to Rashi, that perhaps it would be okay, because Rashi didn't mention anything about Takanas Kohen. So the Bris Yehuda talks about this in Perek Zion, Sif Chaf Hey. And I never got a chance to finish this, and especially since I'm going to quote by Elta Zeta, I wanted to get to this point. Excuse me, Perek Zion. Sorry, Sif Chaf Hey. My mistake. Yesh omim shemuto lahavos beribis lechever le'eron mugbal. V'achas shein rechush haprati shel bali amanoyos meshubad iske achevra. V'yesh ostrim. V'yesh omim she'af adivya ostrim and the ribis d'oraisa. Some say. Get the impression there are three opinions. So the Marshag was not machlit as we saw, but as a tshuva miksav yad to his Talmud is printed in Noam Tavshin Yutes. Mutter. The Rivosh. There, the Akash Asfina B'Sholom Shuv Nischayev Shibur Aguf. If the boat will not sink. Mashenke Medino Didan the Olam Ein Al Bali Menois Shibur Aguf, and therefore he said it's okay, etc. But Minchas Yitzchak says it's wrong. And that's why he didn't print that other tshuva, because he was not sure if it was right, etc. And he writes over here the Bris Yehuda, very important. If you look at the Gemara in Gittin, Uvadiri Apnei Yoshua, the Elder Zeta, Nira de Rashi have a ribis ketzutza. Ribis ketzutza. We said until now, Rashi or Tosfos fight, is it mutter or is it ribis rabbanon? All of a sudden, come to ribis ketzutza. How'd that happen? So you have to look at Pnei Yeshua. That's why I brought in the Pnei Yeshua. It was descended from the Pnei Yeshua. I wanted to read what he has to say. Pirish Rashi. Today, the Bishar Poskin Beinon Sheyetzi Ashar Kan Levin Sheyetzi Ashar Afil Hachi Ein Mishum Ribis. And Tosfos says, no. Ein Mishum Ribis Inim Ifnei Atzmahu. What does that mean? There are two statements. Rabbi say in the Brisa. It's important to understand. Let's go. Upose alem kashar azol, ve'ein ba mishum ribis. So Rashi says it's all one run-on sentence. Ein ba mishum ribis is kashar azol. Tosfos says no. It's two different statements. Two different statements. Pose kashar azol. Period. Right? Why? Aflo posek misha posek dami. Ein ba mishum ribis. I feel the posek harbe. Pochos mishar azol, but guess what? It's also a drabanan. You can't have it both ways. I mean, in theory you could, but Tosfos says a big kula, but it's going to be us drabanan anyway. And Rashi, who has a small kula, is mater. That's the simple read. Watch what the Pnei Yeshua does with this. Watch. Fine. The Yasha Shitas Rashi. The live so pogos misharazol vadayaser. Why? The hacha hamal vemos katani. How's the Brisa begin? Tana Abanan hamal vemos, as I call him as a Levi. Watch. The hainu halvo gemura. If you came imposing b'shas halvo sheyifalo beperis b'pogos misharazol. Have the ribis kitzutza. V'lo mahani hachtama de kayor b'gemara kaven the lesle lo yorav levechule shazeh atam lamatzinu elalin avak ribis kon b'milsa desvini shu derech mekachu memkar she'asu chachamim b'chol davar shu karav l'schav v'rochel lehefsed v'chein sa b'sa afil derech avoin al avak ribis shum karav l'schav. Jim came, Keva and the Lesle, Lo Yoevle, Nimsa Shukarev Lehevse, Kimo the Schar, Mishamachi Shori. The Afagav, they have also been part so he Tiru Khan, Shum Takonas Chachamim, Moshe Pirshu at Tosfos B'Samach. Rashi also holds like Tosfos, it's only a special kula over here. Because we're not discussing a Shabbos Ketzutza. Why? Sharazol, it's just Sharazol. It's it's question of the schal. Not such a dramatic change. Mash engen in ribis ketzutza. La v'kar of the schal talia milsa. V'lo shayach achtam at the chazir b'tiyua. Period. And therefore he says it's going to be a shalav d'oraisa. Wait, but the Yeshua in Gittin was fully conversant with every daf and as well. So he's going to watch this. The Afagablin Mashkanta below Nachyaisa. Kos of Rashi in Bava Metzia Dav Samach Zayin. Lehedja. Should be Ayin Gimel Manal. Lehedja. To be Karen Visada the Shaykh Beitiyua. Equal the Mandiyama the Shari, the Gamri. Biaf the Mandiyos in a Lavak Ribis. No, why isn't it Ketzutza? Why isn't it Ketzutza? Miu Shani Hustle. Listen. The cave and the Hilveo al also saw the Vikaren, not a general obligation like a corporation. No, that's the Vikaren. Imkain, Kimechura lo damya. As if I sold it to you. How do you know? What's the proof? Torah says in a few places in Perkei Neshech. That's what it says. Rashi agrees with that svara. Mechura lo damya. Mash ein kein hocha and gittin daf lamid. Lo shayach klal in the mechira. Why? Shrei lova muchzak b'sadeh. Va'peres em dava shalo b'leolam. The case of Cohen v'Levi. Im kein sova Rashi's out. Davi ribis kitsusa livstok b'pachos mishar hasol. U'mishum hachi huchrach lefarish. Tahi ein bo mishum ribis. Aposlik ashar hasol koi. It's one run-on sentence. Inyan lo binan just ashar. Ika milsa the saw besoy number the rabbanon. I feel about hava. Hacha kaven di lesse lo yoav. I feel the chatchila shari. Can you linachon the shitas Rashi? How do you like that? The Torah is a different shita, but it's will still be also with the rabbanon. Come to the play Yeshua, as a priest would have told me to look here. It's a serious question of ribis ksusa l'raisa by corporations. I mean, the Akotman. You can't worry about Rashi. One to the Elder Zeta. Rashi is also my Elder Zeta. I have two Elder Zetas in the picture, and they both hold. You put them together, it's going to end in ribis ksusa with the raisa, even in corporations. By me, it's very, very hard to rely on any kula. I know that Moshe is materit, and Marshak seems maybe materit, and others say it's the Rabbanon. But the Bris Yehuda, who was, what do you call it, the Pesach Achron, Pesach Rishon Sheba Achron, he wrote the Bible, he is Choshish, based on what I just said, it's Ribis Dorais, and I thought he's right. Let me read you what he says. Shenayim Vesugya the Gittin Pnei Yeshua, the Rashi Ribis Ktutza, and it's a Meiri. Why? The Meiri learns Pshat over here in Gittin, I looked at it. It's Kazvini. It's like a sale. And the Ramban said the same thing. Avavavo Gemura Ribis Ktutza. Even according to Tosis and the Rashba, the Pnei Yeshua says, you know why it's Zvini? We just read it. Also, Shena Zocha Kazocha. Ve'av Shavla Shitosam have a Ribis Katsutza B'Halva Gemura. And even if it's B'Avak Ribis, Kosh L'Hat Nega Pnei Yeshua, I'll be deal Kal Mea Gemara. And the Rivash is Lidavak Ribis. Yeah? And the Radvas is Ribis Katsutza. And he says there are many, many poskim who say it's Ribis Katsutza. Period. As Rabbi Black said, Lo all al daitam lahatim mishum hach taimah and shibud aguf. No one ever heard of this before. Hundreds of years they're looking for tricks. No one ever came up with this. That's itself a riot. It's not true. Is that true? It's not true. And yeah, the Chalkas Yaakov quoted Tzifnas Paneh Kuf Pei Dalet. Thank you, Dr. Cooper gave it to me. He says it's Surah below Chomer. Like Maral speak. That is some call it metaphysics. What does that mean? He quotes it over here. Get a bank lo nikotava mesuyim, baktava shel Surah below Chomer. What does that mean? Ani lo mevin? I don't understand. He says, Lo evanti. What do you mean no bal doing? You do a chelko shel Kollel mibali amanoras Rosh b'sifrei bank. Chase Manhattan Bank, the biggest bank in the country. It has there are owners. You can look it up somewhere in Wall Street Journal. I don't know. We can look it up.
Maybe they don't own the money. They own the right to take the money.
Maybe they own the bank. Come on, they bank, so they own the shares. Now I don't know exactly who they are, and they all have voting rights for that. Therefore, the bottom line is, it seems to me, even the sons of the Chalkas Yaakov, his own sons, came out against him. Well, B'nei Mechaber. And the Savas Paneach, he said the Rabbanon, the kids in Nimrus, the Mitchassidach quotes something was there, Ein Lisvul Lahater. He also says the Rabbanon. Lulei Horos Rabbanon Manal Yisi Choshesh Leribus Doraisa Bazeh. Okay, really? Then he gets for old nire. Come as far as Hamatirim, Edakim bechavrot siburiot, Kagon bankim, bechavrot bituach, insurance companies, וכדומה, שיש עליהם ביקורת ציבורית. The government looks over banks and insurance companies. ודמי ההלוואות, ודמי ההלוואות מושקעים על שם החברה. אבל בחברות פרטיות, כיוון שמוצא היום, you're going to laugh at this, בעל ואשתו ובנו מקימים חברה בעליון מוגבל. Why? לשם הקלות בחישובי מס הכנסה וכל המנויות בידיהם. The company is me, myself, and I. Why Baal v'ishto and Avah? Why not the Baal himself and the Av himself? Well, same thing. Misupkanim im evshel lahachlo behetezeh. And here's this reductio ad absurdum. V'yod she'im no makain v'gam adam prati alul lavol lematzav shepshitat regel ulefi achok af im yulo achakach mos Kayamis Mitzius, Shalo Yechayav Lefroa Chovosas. I'm sorry? Okay, I don't know. I thought PC was a kind of a computer. But I'm not a good book in Russia Tavis. But in any event, this is what he says. And then so what does he really think about corporations? What does he say? I had to look it up, see what he said. I looked it up. It's in Pischei Choshen. Unbelievable what he says. He was a banker. He was a man of the world. And it's very opening volume. In Pischei Choshen, Perek Beis, Dini Havo, Perek Beis. He writes as follows. Afilu she'eno akshav b'mal lefroa, eno nifta liolam with the froa hachov. Got to pay up later. Watch. Yesh lodem mash yodua hayom musa shel poshet regel. V'hainu sheish adam ol lechevra. Right, a person same. Chovol she'eni yochel amel behem. Yesh barakos al piat tnoy misyamim machrizim alav poshet regel. You're bankrupt. Shenechasav nimsarim lekones nechasim. Like a rikus kol nechasav v'chol chovos and mechak and nechol noshe chelim and nechasav yachuzim shel klal anoshim b'yachas l'klal nechasim. L'chakam ha'agbolos sheyesh al poshet regel mikan l'abo hu niftar mil'shalom chovos. What's the din Torah? What's the din Torah? He wants to know. You pierce the corporate veil, as some people call it. What's the din? What is the din? He says, do you apply Dina de Machusa Dina or not? A long footnote takes up the better part of a couple of pages. Do you or do you not say over here Dina de Machusa Dina? The Minchas Yitzchak says no. We do not apply Dina de Machusa in this particular situation. That's what he says. Now, that's what he says. Miu. Leave out Dina Machusa as such. I think my black ones called it getting it through the back door. What the Minhag Medina is, so in effect, you're endorsing Dina Machusa. The Chore F Shaloma, Shalom called Dover Yeshlot in Minhag Medina. With a frat to Dover She'enu Matzui Kol Kach. As there are more rights in Simon Shin, Lamed Gimel, and a Nikka Minhag Medina, Dover Shchiach Nasa Harbe Pa'amim. V'nire Hatam Te'ika Tokef Minigu Shemistama Al Das and Minig Misaskim. Kshav Minig Eno Shir Kol Kach Lo Shayach Tam Zeh. Okay, that's true. P'kivege Choshen Mishpat Sim Yud Beis if you Gimel quotes Masas Moshe Shebal Lechol. Listen to this. Sheskimu Lispashim Alova V'echad Eno Maskim Kofen Os Lispasher Shekain Minig Hasochrim. Force him. Hooray, Shagam Bazel Chanachar Minig. In Rebbe Kivega's time, people had no money to pay. All right? It's Hooray Kipshora Bekinyan. V'kol shkel legabe chevra be'erodon mugbal shekol ha'musag v'chol inyonei ha'ksafim shel chevra misnalim mikoach ha'chok u'minig ha'medina You lend money to a corporation. If they're going to go broke, you're going to lose your money. The one who owed the money, Hitzliach laharim ala chok, v'kibel psapshitas haregel. That means he's hiding things in the Swiss bank account. I'm not sure what it means to get around the law. V'kibel psapshitas haregel illegitimately. U'lemaser nechosim eino chayav limchola. I'm not moichel you. But if it's a legitimate bankruptcy, the taka have no money, no Swiss bank accounts, then it works. That's what he's pasking. It's a pischa choshen. This is the person. He applies it to other situations as well. For statute of limitation situations, he quotes, and others say, "Kevan shenagu kenish the tokav api minig asochrim, v'cholechat sava v'kibulav minig asochrim." That's what he quotes. He quotes it. This is a few pages later in Sifkotan, Ayin Beis, same sefer, same volume. That's what he quotes. That being the case, perhaps it should apply. He says, Rav Polen, after mikra shein koach medina machusa, came a shenagu kach. Here's a tochef api minig asochrim. V'chol echad sava v'kibulav minig asochrim. Says Rav Bloy over here, Bris Yehuda, oy bazoi, there's no ribis. I borrow money from you. If I have personal bankruptcy, you lose everything. A legitimate case. That's just reductu ad absurdum. It wouldn't be surprised if some rabbi said they're economic, but I don't think anyone in the world said that, to my knowledge. Whatever. Adkan, part 2. I want to end the shiur with part 3. It won't take me too long. Part 3 is I lent this sefer to Rabbi Bleich Shlita about credit cards. Because we had a whole tumult about credit cards, had an argument in shul about credit cards, and I said, let me ask Chalki about credit cards. If someone wants to speak about it later on, it's fine. I'm going to read you from this beautiful sefer. I checked my halacha. It's only thanks to Rabbi Bleich that I opened it up, the second volume, to see credit cards. There's a whole discussion about this. I'll read you highlights. Page Tov, Shin, Ayin, Zayin, and Ches. The numbers continue. He doesn't start from page Aleph. He starts from page Tov, Kuf, Yud. So don't get frightened by Tov, Shin, Ayin, Zayin. I'll read you what he says. Here we go. Hashem, he calls it the Visa. Visa is a credit card. It's a shame quality, right? It's easy to it sounds like a credit card. He says Visa. Yeshnam neskos shekova mechir ragil kshetashlim b'mzuman. $100 cash. And mishalem b'Visa kovim mechir kayoser. Like the gas station that was owned by a Jew in Flatbush. Ima hefresh shalom mechir urakt mehealos he'alut. Let's say for argument's sake, that the price is $100, but it costs him 4% to Visa. He charges you $104. Mutar lechatchila lasos kei. Put on 173. Shoot. Gavna lo nechshav kishnei mechirim. Shu moche chayvitz ebemeya. V'keva shayde atashim beVisa hachever menakalo kama shkolim mutlo ligvos zos me'akone chen hori habadatz lechanushim ocheres chafosim b'mchira keren v'kovel lehosit tmei ha'amola shemesham bashroi holim habadatz hetagamar. That's number one. Oh, Ula. I'm charging you more than Visa charges me. Visa. Yesh chashash ribis. The choshiv katzos shnei mechirim limzuman v'limuchar. The yasser. Yeah. The yasser. This is prohibited. Watch. Who says so? Torah's Ribbis. The Bris Yehuda wanted to say it's based upon, Hotzos Tipul B'Mesiras HaTashlim B'Chevas Aviza. He doesn't understand that. Tzarachin, the Chorak Shagove, Estmei HaAmola Shagove Mimenu Muter. Aber Shenota Yosef, that's lesser. Ein Shem Tircha B'Tipul B'Tashlim Shel Aviza. Shken HaKesef Nichnas Yashir L'Cheshbon HaMocher. Visa sent right to me. How can I China? There's no tirch over here. Doesn't like the bris Yehuda's for. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. For koshike, for often shem b'shalim la mocher v'kama tashlum la visa u'v'gin kach mos la mechir. That's certainly going to be prohibited. Prohibited. V'sarchet the Now, the question is,
why does it make a difference how many payments there are?
I don't know. He's trying to some kind of.
I mean, a lot of these, the credit card processing fee is per transaction. Often.
Per transaction?
Yeah. It's not.
Oh, it's almost.
Yeah.
Oh, it's per transaction.
It's a service fee after every time.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's no heter. No, is it heter?
I don't know why paying it in installments is different than paying it at one time. If you think the processing fee is mutter, so why is it no bus? I do it 6 times, not 6 times. What's the difference?
I guess you're right. I don't know. So what did the bris Yehuda say exactly? I have it over here. We'll open it up. Perek, tells you to look it up. Perek Chof Beis Ha'ara Yud Ches. See what he says. Masha Noret Shel Sochim B'Chama Mosorim Sheisatz Kulam Kavua Mechir LeMechir B'Amtona V'Nosu HaNochal Avur Tashlim B'Zuman Das HaPoskim D'Havik Meforish V'Yoser. V'Yoser. It's not allowed. Not allowed. He doesn't see any heter whatsoever. Hold on. Oh, sometimes insurance companies, they add for tashlumin, you pay cash, it's less, and they call it Demei Gevia. It's like, how would you translate it in English?
Collection fee?
Collection fee. Collection fee. Uva zeh ev sheshesh l'tzad l'hakel. Shev tashlum eino ela avorat tircha. It'd be wrong, but tashlumin. No, if I pay car insurance, take simple case car insurance. So that I think I pay car insurance every 6 months. I think that's the standard, right? But if I paid for 12 months, it might cost a little less. I'm not sure if it's true or not true, but that, I mean, my insurance company is goyim, and I'm not worried about it. But if I were worried about it, it's a collection fee. That's it.
Like the subscription.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And he quotes the Imre Yosher. Kol she'ef shel lidl b'davar acher, after meforish is mutter. Ein ha-pirish romers al scharam tanas mos, adrabah. It's a pirish of siba acheres. Ubefrat k'shaschumu kavua, ve'eno misraba hizman ha'amtana. Just one time collection fee. But some call it Demei Ashroy. They call it a credit card. Depends what they call it. Okay, that's what he suggests. So
it takes him 3 days to get paid by the credit card company. Why is that not the same?
I think that's true. That's the point. He says it's like
right.
That in there, it's Israel, the credit card, the merchant gets paid twice a month or something, whatever it is.
That's it.
I had the impression, I was going to ask Mordechai.
It depends on the tenant, whoever is.
I was under the impression you get paid.
I go to the gas and I buy gas. So I buy gas right here. There's a gas station.
My friend who does credit card processing says he tries to negotiate for same day for his merchants, but that's the exception.
What do you mean negotiate same day? What does that mean?
Meaning that the credit card pays the seller that day for the.
He tries to. How does he try to do that?
He negotiates with the credit card company.
Oh, because he wants to. He's worried about ribbons.
No, because you want the seller wants the money that day.
Oh, the seller negotiates the credit card, not the buyer.
The buyer pays up front. The seller negotiates the credit card.
The seller negotiates. He wants to get it right away, and he doesn't always succeed.
No. 3 days is the max.
But that could be not because they're trying to hold the money. It just takes them.
Just take profit.
takes time to process these things.
Why isn't that called starting? Meaning that
there is clearinghouse that does officially take time. And if you check and make sure that
Okay.
The first was the 1 to 3 days that picked up someplace was only because of
Technicalities, right? That's what that says. There's room to be made. Hold on, not finished yet.
Maybe, again, I don't know. I can't mold the material. Those in terms I wasn't
all the publicly available information says it takes a few days.
Hey, why?
well, technically the credit company is taking a loan. That's a technical
Now I have. Let me read you from his second volume, the Equidinium of Rav Bloy. Yudalid Sifyotes. Mashano Kayom b'mechir b'kadis ashroi credit cards. Ein b'zeh mishum ribis. Aber b'mechir b'tashlumin at the cardis ashroi there could be an Easter ribis. What's this all about? No, everyone uses Visa. Yeah, you buy everything Visa. I found out from the people who were involved. This is how it works. In Eretz Yisrael, when it came out, what year did it come out? Came out Tavshin Nun Ches, 1998. It's already a generation ago. How does it work? Could be different. Could change here too. Okay. The credit cards come from banks or from companies, right? And they get it through banks, and they collect it from the lekuchos. Every store signed up. They collect a certain amalot, kvuot, or achuzim me'eskot. But ein chevrot ashrei, not ashrei, lo mekablot ashrei, kol tafkidam hu ki ein tivuch. Uva amalot, ele ein chash ribis. Ein nsar ashrei, gam im ha'esek mochek tzas yosef b'yokel, mishakona b'kardet ashrei, כל העמלה שמשלם לחברת האשראי וההוצאות הטיפול בגבייה, כל שנגעו ויוסף בגלל הפרש הזמן שבין העסקה לבין קבלת התשלום בפועל, אין בזה משום עסק. That's what he says. So it doesn't matter if you're a Jewish credit card company. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Should be mutter. It doesn't matter if the store or the gas station is Jewish or not. It's always going to be mutter. But if you pay it over a period of time, that's a different story. But I'm not going to go involved in that. It's too complicated. But this is what he says. Ad Khan. There's more to be said, but I want to get to what the English Sefer said, the American Sefer says. What's this? Yud Daled. Now, what does he say? Page 115, Rabbi Reisman's beautiful Sefer. A business may not set two prices for the same item. One is cash and one is credit. Why? Because someone who pays a higher price is actually paying an additional fee for credit. This is ribis. A customer faced with the situation is permitted to make a cash purchase at a lower price, but may not purchase on credit. Today, there's a common practice of gas stations in the United States to charge a higher price when payment is made by credit card. It is prohibited to buy gas on credit at the higher price from a station which is owned by a Jew. He's from Flatbush. He knows that he must know about the Gulf station. Must be the same station. Hold on. Let's go slow. Bris Yehuda. Fine. The gas station owner does not receive payment from the credit card company until later, in the interim, he's actually the one who is extending credit to the customer. Where the gas stations charge more for credit purchases to offset the costs which they incur in connection with the processing credit card slips is permitted. Unfortunately, the markup for credit purchases often exceeds the added cost of the company. This is prohibited. Now, Adkan, we're not finished yet. We're not finished yet.
For what it's worth, as of a month ago, that's illegal.
Let's go.
For what that's worth.
I don't know.
In New York State.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. 1 second.
No, more than that. I'm saying they're not allowed to charge you more. To get more of a discount than it actually costs.
Hold on. I'm coming to that. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Leave me a minute. I wrote down the exact language of the new law. Give me a second. Hold on. Why did I think he was right, Rabbi Reisman? I also buy gas. Typically, the gas that I buy, the two prices, typically 10 cents apart. Right? 10 cents apart. So how much? 10 cents? It cost him 10 cents a gallon of gas. I couldn't believe it cost so much money. Slowly. This is the language of a New York law, which was passed in December of 2023. Quote, limiting credit card surcharges to the amount charged to the business by the credit card company. They're not permitted by a New York state law to charge more than it's costing them. Do you believe it? That's what it says. So I asked my friend, Mr. Metzger, what is it? He read me the whole law. What is it? In 2023, the latest data available, credit card fees were 8.4 cents per gallon. It's a lot. By now it's 10 cents. I mean, I think they charged 10 cents in 2023 also. An extra penny and a half. So Mr. Metzger told me that he thinks, sadly, he's a very, those who know, he's a stickler of sticklers. He thinks that I'm complicit. Why? He thinks that the eateries under the Vada Rabbanim of Riverdale, when I signed the piece of paper, are not keeping this law exactly. That they're charging more.
When my friend explained to me,
yeah.
The way my friend explained to me, does credit card processing, the loophole is instead of causing an upcharge for credit card, it's a discount for cash. And that circumvents the whole law.
Really?
That's what he don't.
No.
That's what he don't.
That's for the agreement with the credit card companies. If you give a discount for cash, it's smooth. That was not law. That was it was nomenclature.
And what about this? It wouldn't circumvent this? They're not upcharging from credit card, they're giving a cash discount.
It does.
You can't do
The law said it does.
You're allowed to give a class discount.
Isn't that what the law says? If you get around the laws, it's a joke. I'm saying it sounds right, but then what this law has no teeth.
That was loophole everyone was using, he told me.
It doesn't help.
We are on record on both sides. No one wants to go to jail.
The situation of interest is there's always a range of credit cards. So say the low end is 3% of the upcharge.
Right, he told me it's 2% up to 4%. 5?
I think Amex is 4 or 5%. 4%.
2 to 4.
So let's say 2 to 4.
So if you go to 4, then it's okay.
But the company's charging, they'll charge 3 because they're going to take an average. Some people are going to use the 4% credit card. So people use
that's interesting.
So then so if you use the lesser credit card, then they're upcharging, but they're just taking an average of all their losses.
So I need to know what my credit card charges. It depends.
Is it Chaburah only to use the highest? Amex is the highest.
Oy vey. That'd be terrible.
But then he's not trying to upcharge. He's trying to, over the span of all his business, he'll cover his losses. The average will average out.
He accepts American Express.
He accepts American Express.
He doesn't accept American Express.
I mean, he's
that's the high.
That's the highest. Amex is always high.
What's the lowest?
Visa.
Visa's the lowest. I have MasterCard. Not the same as Visa, more or less.
Your market, you have to use Amex?
No.
And it's also, or if he gain the average over the course of all the years, he'll get the.
Ask a lawyer.
What's the Kevin is doing something that's also in the law now?
We have a lawyer signed off.
We have a lawyer on who's on?
He just left a minute ago.
Who? The judge was on? Oh, we need the judge for this, I think. The judge is speaking next week, correct? We'll tell it to the judge next week. Wish everybody a Freilich and Purim and a good Shabbos, and thank you for listening.
More complicated also because the most of the credit card processing fees are a combination of a percentage and a flat amount per transaction.
Oh,
they
really?
Charge you 2% plus 5 cents.
You pay 2 cents. 2 separate.
Right?
So how